We are back to the Fire Rises. Now, I've played France before, but the only thing I did as France was try and win the First European War, and I did win it, and then I finished the video there. But there is actually a way to get not just the First European War, not just the Second European War, but a Third European War, and that is what we're going to be doing today. And we can get Napoleon, not the real Napoleon, of course, but like his ancestor, and reform the French Empire, which should be good fun. But for now, we start as Emmanuel Macron, and our country is in shambles. Protests and corruption are rampant. I don't know what I'm doing with the slider there. What am I doing? The gameplay was recorded a while ago, so bear with me. Anyway, the economy isn't that great either, but I'm not too concerned about fixing it because we need to lose the First European War. And I think to the communists, so I set Russia to go communist. Quickly, before we get into the video, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Oh yeah, we got the yellow vest protests. That's the thing that becomes on and off. And generation of slackers, mass migration, that's a problem. All right, Le Pen announces 2022 run. I think we'll keep Macron, so I don't know if it matters, to be honest, but you shall fail again. As per usual, all the chaos happened in 2020. We have COVID-19, the Saudi Arabian civil war, and the oil crisis. Then there's also the military mechanic, which I'm not too concerned about either, but I think you need to deny them something, which I do in the future. I managed to reach an agreement with the Yellow Vest protests, which I wasn't able to do last time, so that's good. Meant the reforms. End the Yellow Vest protest. Perfect. Alright, we're going to start vaccine research. I'm not trying to win the first war, so I don't have to worry about COVID or any of the other crises that much. Yeah, so Yellow Vest protests are dealt with. Coronavirus is still spreading. It's going to go from low to mild in 15 days. Rumors in the military. There we go. The military of France has a long and storied history, from the great liberator of de Gaulle and famed conqueror of Napoleon. Now, this is important. We need the military to be unhappy with us to ensure that they side with Napoleon and we can get him in power, or any of the other right-wing leaders, in fact. And that'll be it for 2020, and 2021 would be more of the same. I was fiddling around with the economy system, trying to get some liquidity. And I don't even know what I was turning the auto payment off and on and bank liquidity button off and on. I don't even know. I did manage to get some though, and I used it for additional funding to make the vaccine research quicker. Invest into additional funding. Remove 20 days. Alright, so the French generals demand concessions. I think it actually matters what we choose here to be able to do this. But I think we deny the concessions. I'm pretty sure. We then got an event about the Identitarians, which are the party that we need to get in power to start the Third European War. Right now, they just got banned, but they will come back. Society development decreases. Okay, I should probably go back to welfare. I don't know. Because this was society development, yeah. It actually is important to do society and welfare development because that helps us build factories and research, which ultimately would benefit us in the Third European War. The poverty rate is getting worse. The military professionality is getting worse, and the society development is getting worse. So those three things are the most important. Military development actually isn't one we need, because we don't need a good army. Anyway, the Second American Civil War began, and the future of NATO was up for questioning, and I was going to take charge of NATO leadership. Mine's at 25. Yeah, we're at 25. I thought mine was 0. Why is the 0 so close to me? This German flag is so far away. North Africa. Okay, let's back, I guess, Algeria? Yo! They updated his profile picture. Alright, strengthen anti-corruption laws. That is what we need in, like, Australia. Oh my god. The problem with the West and corruption is that getting rid of corrupt politicians is a long and arduous process, where you need to collect all the evidence, take them to court, and then present it to a judge who hopefully isn't also corrupt, who hopefully sentences them hard enough to be disbarred from politics. But corruption exists in all forms of government. It doesn't exist solely in the West or the East. In the East, it's all dictatorships, but they just surround themselves with yes men, and then that's a corrupt dictatorship as well. Okay, that's enough ranting. Let's focus on the game. This increases society development by 0.2. If I go to religious, it goes up 0.5. We're going to do everything for the society development. I then found a really interesting path with Macron, where you can turn him into like a soft dictator. He starts comparing himself to gods, and you can click decisions on different planets, or the names of ancient gods, and get bonuses. Alright, there we go. We've assumed leadership of NATO. So now it is dark blue. There we go. So they do go communist, because the communist dude has indeed won the election. Oh, okay, so our focus tree is decreasing taxes. Whatever. We're getting 10 billion a month now. We're actually gaining money. So our economy isn't doing too bad anymore, and Macron has now changed his party name to Renaissance. Our party is now called Renaissance. What? Okay. I hope they add like a third European war to all of the European nations. Like, imagine a third European war that could, yeah, and that could reform like a Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth or something. Greece can do the third European war with like a Byzantine or a Macedonian empire. This is probably what they're already doing. They've done that with France already, so I can see it happening. I also had another idea for post-regional unification content with like America, Asia, and Europe, where like a World War III breaks out between the three of them. And look at this, we can now do this liberty one. Okay, so instead of advancing prosperity, we have modern society. The Great Asian War begun, and next year, Macron would actually become an authoritarian democrat. We can barricade the streets. What are you preparing for, huh? I barricaded the streets, and this took me down a very interesting path with Macron. What happens if the riots worsen? Do we actually go into civil war? What happens if we go into civil war? Well, I don't know. See, this is what we're here for. The love of the game. And then we got an option to declare martial law. I can declare martial law. Oh my god, what if I do that? Are you sure you want to go through with this? I want to declare martial law. What's going on? Are we even a republic anymore? He's just Jupiter. Bro. What now? Yep, Macron is now a dictator, and we have decisions where he can just cosplay as a god. We're now Renaissance. And there's a lot of authoritarian democratic support. No elections, look. We have no elections. Now, it's not a huge change. We're still in NATO. We're still going to fight Russia and in the First European War. So now I was interested to know what happens when you win the war, but I think it's probably the same still. Plus, I set it for the CPRF to actually win the war, so they're going to be impossible to beat. Oh, we can't have Macron comparing himself to another god. We can't have him comparing himself to multiple gods at the same time. Only one god at a time. Okay, he's reasonable. I'm still going to follow through and try and do the Third European War and lose the First European War. Alright, 2024. Yeah, I'm still going to commit to the whole Third European War and whatever Napoleonic branch you can do. But look at our society. We have, everything's like the second highest, and everything is the second highest, and they're still going up. So everything's going to go to the maximum societal development. Now, I'm pretty sure if we lose the war, it's all going to go, it's all going to go down to the bottom. It's going to turn into chaos and stuff. But I mean, at least I've done a somewhat decent job. I wasn't really even trying. Anyway, I'm continuing to build civs. I'm using the same strategy as I did when I played Navalny in my video that long ago. I recorded the gameplay around similar times. Anyway, the strategy is that I convert my civilian factories to military ones after we lose the war. You know, we can actually become really strong if we do this authoritarian liberalism branch. Like, we can just invest in the army, and I don't know if that's actually part of that. But this Jupiter stuff? Damn. Oh, I can compare Macron to another god. We can do Jupiter. Look at this. To be fair, now that I look at the bonuses that you get, it's not that good. It's all like air experience, weekly manpower, 0.25 political power gain, which is alright. And then the construction speed one gives you negative 15% civilian factory construction speed specifically, which is what I'm building, so I don't need that. Look at the civilian industry here, god damn. We're churning them out. This guy's a corrupt kleptocrat. Yeah, no, we're not getting that guy. Is Macron still in charge of France? While we're watching this, is he still? And when is this guy not going to be in charge? I have something to say about France, okay? Don't we all? But me specifically, every day I'm hearing about the collapse of the French government. Oh my god. And then I look, and Macron is still the president of France. Like, what the fuck? I swear, at the time of recording this, there was this whole, like, collapse of France, the French government thing, and protests and stuff, but it's like nothing has changed. I don't know, but when I hear the government has collapsed, I think regime change. Parliament is dissolved or so. I feel like the public should know better. For a government collapsing in France like that is just not a big deal. Keir Starmer in charge of Britain. All right. How many civs? How many civilian 95 civilian factories now. Oh, so good. Safe to say our economy is booming and our productivity is prosperous. It's a shame that I'm not trying to win the First European War in this game, because I reckon I'd smash it. I think the Soviets have sent the ultimatum. Oh, they did. Everyone complied. My god. I'm just going to keep building them, because, like, I'm just unstoppable like that. Yep, that's it for 2025. But 2026, the war is going to begin and we are going to lose. What? I have 158 factories. My god. Alright, do I still have the oil crisis? Oh my god, I still have the oil crisis. I just realized. Because I haven't done this whole thing. Oh my god. More importantly, Russia invaded Ukraine, skirmishes occurred on the Polish-Belarusian border, and NATO was at war. Oh my god, they're so strong. I said it like so they... if you said it so that they win, oh my god. Yo, can we play that back? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Why do I sound like... They easily defeated Ukraine, made it to Bucharest and Warsaw. Oh, no, that is. They didn't even take... Alright, whatever, fine. Yeah, okay. Cool. And now we prepare for the civil war that is coming. I don't know, we got war reparations, far left protest, far right protests, national embarrassment. Yeah, it's not looking too good. Anyway, next year we'll descend into civil war siding with the military. Here we go. The die is cast, French generals launch coup. We immediately got plunged into a three-way civil war with the military, the government, and then socialists. Also the Identitarians in Alsace-Lorraine, who we're going to ally with in the future. For now, we focused all of our forces on the French Republic. Alright, fighting begins. We're going to be at war with... not these guys. With most of the military on my side, I captured Paris pretty easily and capitulated the French Republic. Yeah, the military coup is too strong, because we're the military. Operation Bastille, done. Alright, enforce martial law, national rebirth. We go national rebirth for the division attack for now. LSA pledges loyalty. Oh, okay, we just annex them. Alright. Soon enough, we crush both the breakaway state of Brittany and the socialists in the southwest. Alright, there we go. All cleaned up. First thing I did was train divisions and then also convert a bunch of my civilian factories to military. Alright. Look at this new focus tree. Convene the new government. Yeah, now we're going to core it. Yeah, look at this. We have 77. Oh, okay, yeah, we're back to 141 factories. This is what we're talking about. Now, the fascist groups in the military demanded government representation, which we have to accept. I think we need to do this one. Together, we will secure France's future, and then we can boost, like, other ones. I'm not 100% sure. We'll be fine. All right. Benedetti inaugurated as dictator of France. Now, when he comes to power, we get a balance of power mechanic. To the left is the classical fascist government with Benedetti still in power, and to the right are the Identitarians who then can make Napoleon, Lafayette, all these interesting other characters. However, I'm going to need a lot of political power to be able to influence it, considering I'm well into the negatives. It's going to take a lot. Look at all these civilian factories converting to mills now. I clicked it, it's like talking about Napoleon. I click it and it moves it towards the ultranationalists, but I think we're supposed to do the Identitarians. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of struggled at the start. One of the decisions was talking about Napoleon. I clicked it and it started moving the balance of power to the left. And I'm like, what the hell? But I figured it out pretty quickly, so it's fine. However, I saw as you progress through each tier of the balance of power towards the Identitarians, you get events. And these events give you the opportunity to adopt whoever you want to be as your leader. And you get a bunch of events. Look. You get events. Activates events. Sitting through the ashes, the Latin people, our connection to the past. So I think I do need to go down to the Identitarian and do that. Oh, there's the big Asian war. Establish new... I think we should just abolish... Let's abolish some workers' rights. I think that's good fun. I then started paying attention to my division templates, making sure they were actually good to prepare for war. Alright, ban inflation. Then let's do that one that gives... Abandon our debt. There we go. Replace corrupt society with stabilizing integrity. Alright, we're undefined. Okay, we're undefined now. Here we go. Can we move it? Yes, here. Hardness, Federalist sympathizers. 5% stability to move it to the right. There we go. I finally got the balance of power to go right, and now we got more decisions to push it further right. Sifting through the ashes. This is one of the events you get. Yeah, this is one of the events. The path to national revival has become an unavoidable question of history. We have three choices, and the second one started yapping about the Napoleonic era, so I went and clicked that. So we're going to do the Bonapartists. The past glories will be revived. We need total identitarian. There we go. Connection to the past now. We are the soldier at Waterloo. Empower the Bonapartists. Yes! And as soon as we made it all the way to the right of the balance of power, our politics changed and we got this guy. His last name doesn't really look like Bonaparte to me. What the hell? I don't think we have the Napoleon guy yet though. This is just like a transition government. I can't do the balance of power anymore, so I assume we've done it fine. Anyway, we could start promoting all these identities around Europe, from like Italy to all within our country and Spain. But I do have a focus that lets me declare war on Spain, and so I invaded them, but it was actually a lot harder than I thought. Bruh, you literally, you're strong enough to attack. Why are you not attacking? I couldn't break through their line. Even though I had improved my army a little bit since the Civil War, it still obviously wasn't enough to beat the Spanish. This is not a good start to Napoleonic France. Oh my god. I finally broke through this one province, and from here I had a bit of an easier time, but it was a lot easier when I got invited to the Pact of Steel. Try and go here. If they break through there, that's kind of cooked. That's really cooked. I managed to close that encirclement, which was satisfying. It was close to losing it. One province now. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Wait, in total, that's 134k. My god. Alright, and that breakthrough was all that was needed. The rest of the advance was pretty easy, but it was helped sped up by the Pact of Steel forces. Oh, there's the new axis. Yeah, we're in the Pact of Steel automatically. So, yeah, they're my puppet now. Sick. Thanks for helping me out with that. I tried demanding compliance from Portugal, and because they're communist, and then I clicked the decision and nothing happened. They just ignored me, nor did I get an option to invade them. So, yeah. I'm still down a bunch of equipment. Anyway, in my focus tree, I get a focus that gives me land forts on my territory. Something tells me I'm going to go to war with Germany. Now I'm just waiting for Germany to declare war on Poland and start the Second European War. But considering how slow my invasion of Spain was, I don't know if I'll be ready by then. We gotta fix our development. Our development's gone to absolute crap. Academic. What's our military? Military is insane. Sure doesn't feel like it. I don't know if you saw what was going on in Spain. I barely pulled off that encirclement. Ooh. The old ally. If Britain accepts, they will follow us into any alliance created due to German aggression. Now that was a bit weird. This was my first time I kind of saw something going wrong. I don't know why we're allying with the British in our focus tree when I clearly went Napoleon, and we haven't even got Napoleon yet. I don't know if that's like during the... I don't know. Why is the only high command we can get some amphibious dude? Completion of this focus will lock the player into their current political path. Does that mean I'm like locked into... Am I Bonapartist? Like what even... I did the focus, and I assume I got locked into the Bonapartist path, but I don't know. It was 14th. I don't know what that meant. Alright, establishment. Oh, here we go, yeah. In a shocking move, the young dictator of France, Jordan Bardella, has announced a new step in his plan for Latin dominance. The consolidation of power into one of three branches of the Authoritarian causes. It seems it worked, though, because this is what turned us into the Bonapartist path. Yep, we're going to do Napoleon. Alright, look at this. Jean-Christophe becomes leader for the fascist party. Will be known as the Directorate of France. Hey, 20% stability. And master impact goes negative 0.1. Look at this. With a French Directorate. Oh boy. Building blocks of an empire. Here we go. Reign in the Italians. Look at this. Annex war goal against Italy. For some reason, we get to invade Italy despite them being in the Pact of Steel already. I think it kind of broke, this focus tree. I don't know if I think I'm supposed to be doing this after the war, you know? And then we go to war against the Pact of Steel, like, on our own. But for some reason, I don't know. I'm just going to roll with it. Alright, embolden Napoleonic pride. Embrace Latin unity. 500 manpower weekly. Attack bonus against, like, every country. But we got this decision that just said Italian alignment, which, I mean, I was surprised by. I think it just made it our puppet for absolutely no reason. Right, no way one decision just makes Italy our puppet. There's no way. Oh look, there we go. The Italian guy, yep, just a puppet. All right. I feel like I have the master impact of -1 a day. So it's like we're gonna be able to we can just annex them without even doing that. Well, now we have Spain and Italy as a puppet. We haven't even started the Second European War yet, but once that's over and done with, we're gonna be a lot stronger than Germany. Damn, we're not producing stuff fast enough. It's getting annoying. Like, hello?
Okie dokie, 2031. I just want to make sure we are in the Pact of Steel, so yeah. We're not going to declare war on Germany before we invade the Minsk Treaty Organization. We're on all adult serve. Factory output -30. We don't need this. What is this?
Anyway, we somehow ended up at war with southern Cyprus. Fortunately, it spawned some divisions in the north for me, so I could easily take it without having to naval invade.
Done and done.
And then I realized we're actually at war against Britain. I thought we were supposed to be in some sort of alliance with them. I guess not. So I quickly set up an invasion into Cornwall.
Lay a fet. He's going to lead it. All right. I didn't even realize we were at war with Britain. I'm like, what the hell?
I launched the invasion, and of course it went pretty smoothly. Again, when you have the entire Pact of Steel faction behind you, it doesn't become too difficult.
Yeah, Britain are cooked. Sorry, King.
Once that was over, Germany for some reason abandoned Italy. I don't know how that happened. They're my puppet, but they're not in the Pact of Steel, so it's kind of broke. Either way, it doesn't matter because Germany just declared war on the Soviet Union, or Poland.
The Soviets, like, we're just blasting through Poland. They don't even have any dudes there.
They had a strong front line in the south around Slovakia, Hungary, and Yugoslavia, but in Poland, I was just racing through. I then attempted to undermine the strong front line in the south by coming down through Slovakia.
And Kosice is done. Once we take Bratislava, that's Slovakia done. We'll be able to push further into Hungary.
While that was happening, we also got war goals on Syria and much of the Middle East. However, they've somehow ended up with an army that's stronger than like half the Soviet states.
Damn, look at Lebanon. They can't have... Lebanon got 42. Lebanon got 40. You're telling me Lebanon has 42 divisions? That is a lie. That is just straight up cheating.
I diverted half of my army to go fight in the Middle East, while the other half focused on the south, and I let the Germans take care of the rest of Poland until they started losing it.
There we go. Bratislava is ours. Slovakia's gone. Cool. Yeah, that was you. What is this? Well, can someone explain to me why my divisions aren't going into the... Go into the... Oh my god, it's part of the Polish state. That's why.
I launched a naval invasion into western Syria, but nah, didn't work. So then I was like, okay, maybe if we invade Palestine, it'll be a lot better. While I waited for that, I was still making ground in Europe, surrounding Bucharest and capitulating Romania.
But they have divisions on every single port. How are you supposed to? I have to invade Turkey first then, but Turkey are also strong.
Fortunately, I also get a war goal against Turkey, so we'll be invading there as well next year.
Alright, the invasion into Gaza failed, but we're winning here. Which isn't a port, but we might be able to build something.
I attempted to build a port, but I didn't really need it. I managed to secure multiple landings and was able to hold a lot of Palestine.
Look at that. Oh yeah. Free reign in Ukraine.
The only reason the Soviets haven't taken Berlin yet is because I had to put my army there to stop them from doing that. Anyway, I secured all of Palestine and then had a stalemate against Syria.
This area is going to be really hard. It's really hard to push through.
Back on the European front, I had occupied a lot of Ukraine, and my goal was to try and push to Kaliningrad and encircle a lot of the troops inside of Poland/Germany.
Go away. Oh my god, they're leaving this area because they know. Perfect. This should be an amazing encirclement. That one, perfect. Alright, this is all encircled now. Still not breaking through here. Invasion, it's just not going to work, I don't think. Damn, we still haven't cleaned this up. Should be cleaned up very soon though.
Once that encirclement was cleaned up, the advance into the Soviet Union was inevitable. In the Middle East, instead of invading Syria, I decided to invade southern Turkey. That way I might be able to push into northern Syria from Turkey.
Here we go. This one here, perfect.
I also wanted to try and push out of Palestine, and I had the crazy idea of retreating so that their army would go into, non-supplied land, and then I could try and encircle them from behind.
You know what'd be so cool? If they did like a war where if there was the Pact of Steel victory in Europe and then a Chinese East Asian Defense Initiative victory in Asia, if there was a transcontinental war then that happened between, oh my god, and then you can have like America, right, going another path. Let's say America went, I don't know, like democratic, right, and the government retained. Then when you have a three-way war between the Asian, the European, and then the American. Oh my god, devs!
They're probably doing that anyway, but I continued pushing into the Soviet Union and Syria until next year. Funnily enough, the only way I was actually able to break through into Syria was when I invaded Turkey from the Caucasus after pushing far enough into the Soviet Union.
National census and imperial restoration. It will be called the Third French Empire, and we have Napoleonic heritage. And look at this. Corsica and something is all a core. 99 states are a core.
Soon enough, the war came to an end and the Pact of Steel was victorious.
French Empire. Look at that. Oh, we're a lighter blue. That's so much better. And we got this guy, Napoleon. The 8th. 20% stability. Master impact still. I love the master impact thing. That's amazing. There we go. Pact of Steel victorious. The order is born. Oh my god. Alright.
I quickly finished up Turkey, and then I had to prepare for the war against Germany.
Europe undivided. Our continent is a cornerstone of what civilization is and what it should be. Unfortunately, for the longest time, there were deliberate efforts to undermine this for the sake of progress. Surely there's a third European war. I'm like 100%, I've seen it. I've literally seen it on a YouTube video.
However, my game decided to be a bit different. Normally, you're not supposed to have any allies. It's you versus the rest of the Pact of Steel, including Spain, Britain, Italy, and Germany. For some reason, I don't have that issue. Also, I don't get any super events this game for the Third European War, but it does happen, so it's weird.
The ties that bind. Since times of antiquity, the French and the German people have never seen eye to eye. Enter truce with the German people state until... Then we leave the Pact of Steel, though. Here we go. I've left the Pact of Steel. We have the Vichy Protocols.
Germany claimed Alsace-Lorraine from us, and well, here comes the Third European War. Unfortunately, after the peace deal and the Second European War, a bunch of my army is exiled in Russia, and I genuinely can't move it out, like no matter how much I try, so we're stuck with half of our army to defeat Germany.
56 divisions are stuck. 56 of them. Yikes. There we go. German people states declared war.
Unfortunately, this was not as dramatic as I would have liked it to be. They were not hard to beat at all, and Germany was the only major, so once I rolled over them, it was over already.
We're about to take Brussels. They are kind of defending it pretty well. But look at this. We've actually just... I mean, we're in like Bavaria. Thought you could take me on. I carried you. I'm the one who carried you in the war. Alright, I carried you in the Second European War, and you're out here thinking you can invade me? Is it just a peace deal? Like, what happens now? Is it automatic, or is it just like the vanilla peace deal kind of thing? No way, that was so easy. That was super easy. Yeah, that's it. Oh my god. When I saw someone do it on YouTube, though, it was like they were fighting Germany, Italy, Britain, and Spain. It was like just the French Empire. We now have the Rhine. Truce with them. What is this? North German Occupational Authority. Confederated States of the Rhine. This is demilitarized. Austrian Empire. Okay. I think that's it then. The USA is just... The whole of North America is just black. Oh my god.
Anyway, that'll be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.